Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called thereisonlyonefootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff, from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There is only one football!
Oh yes, guys, it's that show again tonight that you love to hate. Football is live tonight from the CCP capital of Victoria. That's the way it is right now, guys. Frothy's not here, but we'll get through. We got Stephanie Brantz on. We got Mr. Carlos Bielli. Welcome to Football is tonight, guys. It's live and kicking with a soccer ball somewhere around. Here we go. Hup, hup, chicken out. Hup, peanuts. Hup. Here we go, guys. The cup of life, this is the one. Now is the time, don't ever stop. We should've known, gotta be strong. We should've known, right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it. Oh yes, I see it in your eyes. You want the cup of life. Now that the day's here, you're gonna get it. Oh yes, do you really want it? Tell me right now, people. Here we go. Here we go. Ali, Ali, Ali. Oh yes, it's happening right now. We are the people. We are the passion. We are the history. We bloody well are history. We got Carlos here right now. Carlos Bielli. Welcome to Footballers. Welcome, Stephanie Brantz. How are you guys tonight? Carlos.
Well, I'm really well. My research team
Yes.
team tells me, Harry,
Yes.
that you just better Adele's download. She had 24 million hits overnight with a new single, but
What?
you have gone 24.1 million downloads with this intro. You are going
Really?
crazy with this introduction.
Carlos, are you looking for a management position? It sounds like you actually looking to manage someone or something. It sounds like it. Oh boy, here we go.
Well, I'm always looking for a career change involving football, so I couldn't think of a better career change to manage your football show and your downloads with Spotify. 24.1 million.
I tell you what, Carlos.
Carlos, we need to talk, mate. I can
Exactly.
think of many other career options for you.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
Stephanie Brantz. Welcome tonight, Stephanie. How are you? As crazy as ever.
Really good. As much as I love your work, I'm not applying to be your manager. I don't think I could take the energy.
Do you dance at all? Can you dance a little bit? I'm thinking, sure you can. Being an athlete, of course you were.
Can't sing, can't dance.
Here we go. Well, Stephanie, thank you for joining us tonight. We had to, you know what, that thing about your daughter having her birthday, guess what? You helped me. You realise that you helped me because I tell you why. Because it was my son's birthday yesterday too. Thank God you reminded me of that. There you go.
Are you making that up?
No, I'm not.
You
My
are,
son's 18th birthday yesterday. Michael, my son, 18th birthday. I can't believe this. We had birthdays together. How's that? And that's the truth.
Oh, amazing.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. The 18th, your daughter, my son yesterday. Carlos, that's a miracle. How's that?
Absolutely. And to celebrate, he was allowed to go out a little bit more than
I did.
Because the restriction had been slowly lifted in Melbourne, so he could actually have a drink legally and go out without getting into trouble with Victorian police.
Well, we don't want to talk about those guys. I'll say that they're nice fellas. That's what I'll say, just because I'm here right now and you guys are in Sydney. There you go. But let me just say that, Stephanie, thank you for joining us tonight. You're still doing the W League or what?
Well, it moved from ABC, mate, and doesn't start till the middle of December.
Yeah,
so and it's not W League. Didn't you hear it? It's A League Women.
A League Women now. And this is why we've got you on tonight, to remind us what is going on with this competition. Because the thing is, Carlos, it's all called now A Leagues. A Leagues. They're all joined up into one. Is that right, Stephanie?
That's absolutely. It is the A Leagues. We are the A Leagues, plural. So it's men and women, but you've got to put the men on the men. If that makes sense.
Carlos, you've got some questions for Stephanie, of course.
Yes, I do. Who inspire you to be a journalist, Stephanie, and what inspire you to do what you do?
Oh, Carlos, can I tell you, I fell into it completely by accident. I was playing football out in the back with one of my young kids at the time.
Stop, Miss Brantz. When you said football, tell us what football.
Our football.
Thank you. I wanted to get it right.
Proper football.
There you go. Keep going.
And I had a SBS producer that lived a couple of doors up, and they happened to be looking for a sports newsreader. And I auditioned. I was terrible. I didn't get the job. But then I did some training. And then after working in it for a while, I got all my work experience on the job, actually. It was that back in those days when you could learn while you were actually employed doing that work. And just fell in love with it. Love the storytelling. And who doesn't love, traveling around the world to report on football? It's a dream.
Oh my God! Now, did you go? You also went to the Olympics, didn't you? You went to the Olympics. Was there something that you did?
I've been to, not as an athlete, if that's what you're saying.
I'm talking about as a journalist, of course.
Yeah. No, I went to London, and then I did the Paralympics for ABC. In London, and that was absolutely incredible. Jesus, some amazing athletes out there, and I mean, we obviously saw them across both the Olympics and the Paralympics in Tokyo as well. But just all the stories. I mean, last week, Peter Bowl came home, and he was the lad who was in the 800-metre final in Tokyo. He was the first Australian in the 800-metre track final for 53 years.
My God.
And it's just cool to talk to these athletes that are just doing their thing and to hear what makes them tick. And in sport, I think football gives you the biggest opportunity to do that all over the world. And now, finally, in the last couple of years, women can do it as well.
Carlos?
You can go and play in all different corners of the world.
Exactly.
Now, what advice can you give a young person?
How old are you, Carlos?
I'm not young. I'm 58. but a younger person who wants to be a sports journalist like you, because the landscape has changed. There's not job security anymore. There seems to be very difficult to carve a career path. As a journalist, what advice can you give a young person wanting to follow into your footsteps?
Oh, Carlos, I feel terrible. I want to say go and find a more secure job.
It's like coaching.
Exactly.
It's really tricky because I'm a freelancer now, and I really enjoy that because, I mean, I can pick and choose what I work in and what events I work on. And it's something I really enjoy, but it's taken 15 years to build that career up. And I'm not sure I could do it in the same way now because I'm an absolute Luddite. Like, I can be the guest on your radio show, but when I do my own radio show, someone else panels it for me. I can cut it up, but I'm not one of these kids that can run around and shoot and cut and put something up on social media all within about 15 seconds. It's a completely different landscape. And now, if you knew a young kid who wanted to be a sports journalist, I would say make sure your writing is really good, but make sure that your social media or your digital media skills really well developed. You need to be able to shoot stuff. You need to look at something and know what the story is. You need to know which format to post that in, whether it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Twitter. And you need to be across all those things already before you start, because now you don't get people that write the story, then people that stand in front of the camera and tell the story, and then people that cut up the story, and then people that put it to air. That's all one person now.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
They can do it all themselves. And do you know what? It doesn't daunt them. I think I'm just a dinosaur, I think.
Well, Stephanie, let me tell you, football is how it works. And Carlos will know this. I'm the cameraman. I'm the sound man. I'm one of the hosts. And
well, see, you're one of the young guns. Carlos should
young guns? You think that I'm I'm happy when you said young gun. Geez, I wish I had 6 shooters in my bloody pockets too. But anyway, look, I found out something about you, that you're doing something on SEN as well now, I hear. Women's sport, is that right?
The show's called Trailblazers, and
yes.
Actually it's on in an hour, so you better make sure you're off the air and listening to it, all right?
Yes.
Except it's up in Sydney.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a long form interview program where we talk to women who've had a significant impact in sport, or men that have impacted women's sport.
Yes.
So there's been some really interesting people. Tonight it's Madison De Rosario, who's just come back from Tokyo with 2 gold medals in a bag. Yeah, and then prior to that, we've had, the Kate Campbells, the Anna Mears, Louise Savage. We've had Hayley Raso. We spoke to Jane Fernandez, the COO of the Women's World Cup, the other week. We had Tommy Samani, who's been coach of the Matildas a couple of times and took them to an Asian Cup win.
Yes.
So all sorts. We had Tony Gustafsson on. I wish I had him on this week, though, because I'd actually like to hear about his tactics.
We really do want to hear about his tactics. We really do. Because a few things happening there, but we don't know at the moment because, in 2023 we've got the Women's World Cup. It's not far off now. Carlos, you got some more questions for Stephanie, of course?
Yeah, certainly. There have been many highlights in your career, but which one is the one that brings you goosebumps?
Well, that's a really good question. I very much enjoyed the Socceroos the qualifier against Uruguay. That's probably the best sporting event as a single match that I think I've ever been to. That was a special night out at what was the Stadium. Yeah. And that was something that I just think you cannot recreate that ever again. That was an amazing thing to do. And I just started at SBS, so of course for them it was ka-ching. We've got the rights to the World Cup. This is looking very good. And that whole event was amazing. But I mentioned the Paralympics in London as well, and I just really enjoyed that. Just meeting all the athletes and watching just how they go about their thing. It was incredible. It was really wonderful to watch. So those are probably the two that stand out. But I have a thing for World Cups. I really like them. They're just so much fun. There's always a buzz. I was in France for the Women's World Cup in 2019, and just the vibe, because it's such a global event. It's very, very cool. I was hoping to work on the Euros last year, but of course all the border closures got the better of me.
Yes.
So that was, a little bit unfortunate. But what I did get to do was I came back a couple of weeks ago from New York, and that women's tennis final between Emma Raducanu and Lola Fernandez, 2 teenagers, one of them a qualifier who didn't drop a set for the entire tournament. I'm not sure we'll see the likes of that again for a while either. And then talking to her and listening to her sound so composed, and then do her interviews in a couple of other languages, and it just made you feel very, very uneducated.
Yes.
But it was wonderful. And that same tournament had Dylan Alcott winning his Golden Slam when he won that. Sam Stosur won her first doubles title, women's doubles title, 16 years after she won the first one in New York. It's quite extraordinary. So there were lots of really special moments.
Yes.
But as far as tournaments go, definitely the World Cup.
Now, I want to bring up this. I know, Carlos, in the last few weeks, Frothy and myself have been bringing this up, and we hope to have Frothy next week because he's a bit crook. He's done his back. He's got some manual work he's been doing at home and whatever. But let me tell you, Stephanie, Now, we are talking about this logo. People are talking, and Carlos does always say it's controversial. People are talking about it. People are seeing it. It's happening. It's there. Now, are we talking about a cricket bat and a ball there, or are we talking about an A? I would like to know. Exactly. I'd like to know. Is it the Big Bash League?
On.
Come on, you tell me.
Someone's been paid a lot of money to come up with that.
Really? I could have written. I don't want to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Carlos, you know what we're talking about. It is controversial. People are talking about it. You know that.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yes.
I think it was a deliberate. Okay, the clubs are in charge of their own destiny.
Yes.
They set out to create this logo, which was very left field, non-traditional football logo. And I think they have done it deliberately to get people talking.
Yes.
To get awareness of the brand. Everyone has heard about this logo that a construction company in Adelaide had tripled their orders because they forgot to patent that logo, but it was the same. But I think it was a great ploy by the clubs who now want to chart and have their own pathway independent of FA, and I think it was deliberate because it has everyone talking, and that's what you want, awareness of your brand.
It means they earn their money, doesn't it?
It does.
Absolutely.
Now, okay, we've got this logo now. It's a little, I don't know, round circle and a piece of wood. That's all I'm saying. We're talking about it. That's it. People are talking about it, which is fantastic. And if everybody talks about it, it's promotion, isn't it? Is that right? Promotes that league and it promotes that little toggle and bat, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But let me just say now.
Publicity, as they say.
Publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. I've heard someone say that before. But the thing is, now what I want to talk about, I've done some research, Stephanie, and also this is really, really serious now. We can't laugh because I did some research and I checked out a few little things and I've spoken to people about this in other football codes, and this is really ridiculous because there are 2 million supporters of the English Premier League, Carlos and Stephanie, 2 million supporters, but they don't want to follow an A-League club. Now, Stephanie, you tell me first, how do we get these people involved? But this is the thing. They want to, seriously, and I've spoken to people close to me who are friends, and the thing I've written down here is right now is how do we fix, I've spoken to some of these guys, and they says, I don't know what to say after what they've told me about the A-League, but I'm not going to mention anything because we're here to actually grow the game, and that's what we're here to do this show as well. So, Stephanie, 2 million people support the English Premier League clubs, but not any A-League clubs. How do we fix this? I've got an idea in a minute.
Okay, if you're talking A-League men, I think if you just hark back to the years when Alessandro Del Piero was here, and that was the same year that we had Shinji Ono at the Wanderers, and we had Emil Heskey in Newcastle, or we had Robbie Fowler in the league. Stars, because that's how you get your neutrals to take an interest, and then hopefully you win them over with the energy, and they actually love the environment, the atmosphere in the game. I think the other thing is the active fan support, because that first year that the Wanderers were around, that RBB was, for whatever the faults were of the recalcitrant ones that weren't there to support football, the energy that they brought to a stadium was like being at the Premier League. And my kids were at the right age to say, we just want to go and be in the stadium. It didn't matter if, the Wanderers and, someone, because they were Sydney FC supporters, but it didn't matter to them. They just wanted to be around that atmosphere. It was a place to be, and you've got to make it a destination that people want to be at. You've got to make it appointment viewing. And at the moment, I think it's struggled a bit for that. And I've had discussions with people where they say, no, the quality of football is good enough to stand on its own 2 feet. But you need something showy to sell it. I mean, the Big Bash did it, bringing in their international cricketers and all that sort of thing. For the Women's League, it's tougher because we've lost, 30-ish of our players have gone overseas because it's, more attractive. It was better paid, and it means they can play football all year round. So for the women, we actually need more football. There's just not enough of it. Exactly. And Carlos, yourself, what do you think of that 2 million people they're following the English Premier League rather than following a club here? I've got something to say after you say what. Well,
obviously, the Liverpools and the Evertons, the Manchesters have a history of 100 years in the making. The A-League, I think we're under 20. Also, I agree with Stephanie, we need the stars, we need the X factor, we need the excitement. But I think what everyone forgets, it is the cost of entry. For a family of 4, you're not getting much change of $100. If you buy a hot dog and a drink, well, add $20, $30. So I think the ticketing pricing, I know everyone needs to make money, but maybe once in a blue moon, 2 for 1, 3 for 1, because for a family of 4, mum and dad with say 2 children, or you have 2 children, you borrow the kids next door, let's go to the football. That's $100 in one hit. And as at today, a lot of people are struggling and will think twice at spending $100 over 90 minutes of football.
Yes.
And you can't.
Carlos, I want to ask you, what do you think of kids free under a certain age? Because if they come and they want
absolutely,
they come
absolutely. Under 15, under 12, under 15, because you get your first job, I think, 14 and 9 months. Under 14 for free. And then, obviously, the junior clubs within each catchment area, flood them with free tickets. And then once the children get involved, they start pestering mum and dad. We want to go and see Sydney FC. So mum and dad will go, okay, if you're good this week, we'll go and see Sydney FC the following week. So it's a chain reaction.
That's right. Now, I have a solution to this. It's going to cost a lot of money, but that money should be really...
the fixer. Harry the fixer.
It's coming. I'm the fixer. Of course I'm the fixer. I fix sports around the country. I fix businesses in sport and everything. But nobody knows all this, Stephanie and Carlos. Let me tell you what we've got to do. I'm going to give up... I have a gentleman in England who's watching this right now. He watches it all the time. And this guy is pretty high up. And I'm not going to mention his name. Stephen Williams. He's going to be bringing... And he's actually registered this and he's trying to do this. He's actually doing... the Amateur World Cup. The Amateur World Cup, he's actually registered this, and he's got players from around the world, or teams around the world are trying to get an Amateur World Cup happening. So that's another one. Watch this space. But the other thing I'm going to say about growing the game here is actually bringing a Premier League match here to the country. Bringing it here. Or bringing
you mean an in-season Premier League
That's
match?
Right. Bring a Premier League game here. We are in the same... We play at the same time. We do play at the same time, don't we? And that's what happens. So I would be basically saying, well, bring a Premier League game here, have an A-League game as a curtain raiser, and bring people to watch these games. You know what I'm saying, Stephanie and Carlos? We do need... And I'll tell you something. Major League Baseball came and played a game at the SCG. Is that right, Stephanie, if you remember? Major League Baseball came.
It certainly did, and we've had college football here as well for the NFL. But did it create an interest in the Baseball League in Australia?
I don't think so, but the thing is they brought a major competition to the country, and that's what probably to try and grow the game itself. We are not bad as a baseball country. We're pretty low, but we still play this game. But this is where I think when I say a Premier League game here, playing it here, I think you're going to find out a sellout crowd. Wasn't it a few years ago that we had...
Harry, you'd sell that out 3 times over. We sell the off-season Premier League visiting matches, the friendly.
Yes, we do.
We sell them out and they don't even put their stars on the park.
Exactly.
Can you tell me how you're going to convince a Premier League team to get on a plane for 24 hours?
Well, you've got to have them here for a week, Carlos, don't you? You've got to have them for a week to practice and train. And we're talking about he's selling merchandise as they're here for a week, of course. You got some merchandise. They don't play.
You could sell it in a heartbeat, and you could make a fortune.
Of course,
the issue is trying to get them over here.
That's the thing, is getting them over here.
We're a long way away.
Where we do know.
End of the day, everyone, money talks, and if you put the right package, and I will say Hong Kong or halfway journey from London to Middle East, have a week there, have a game there. Yes. So the next journey into Sydney is a short hop, 10 hours. That could work. I mean, if you went to Hong Kong, had a game there, then you have a short hop for 8 hours, whereas to fly nonstop for 24 hours, try to recover for 3 days and go back on the plane, it will have to be over a three-week period where you break the journey and you maximize the exposure in the key hubs like Hong Kong for example, a lot of expats who will flood to the game.
Of course they will.
Anyway,
You
it
just
has
bring
potential.
Manchester City up through Abu Dhabi. That'll work.
Of course you could.
That's right. That's right. Or Newcastle to Riyadh.
But
Exactly.
but as you see, these friendlies that come over here, these friendlies, they're packed. I mean, why not use them during the season when our A leagues now, as they are called, use it at the same advantage where you've got let's say you've got Melbourne Victory playing Sydney FC. Okay, the game starts a little bit earlier. People want to hang around and watch the other game. Of course they're going to hang around. Won't they hang around? My God, that'd be fantastic. You know.
Hey, I'm not arguing about your marketing premise.
Thank
The
you,
thing
Miss.
is
Thank you, Miss.
we
Thank you, Miss Brantz.
And as Carlos said, money talks, and money does talk. But I think you would need a heck of a lot of money to make that attractive to these sides because they sell out at home. They don't need to go anywhere.
That's
No,
right.
absolutely.
That's right. And I'm sure and I know that the MCG a few years ago was absolutely packed, sold out.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then you know. Then there you go.
It was very expensive.
How much did it cost you to get in? Can I ask you?
The tickets I actually bought them for my son's birthday. It was so that he could see Manchester City play. And I think they were 160 each. If it hadn't been a birthday, I don't think I would have done it.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Because I've seen them play at home.
So therefore, if you've got 100,000 people at the MCG, you've made your money how many times over? Okay. My God.
Well, how many? Because you've had to pay them a fortune as well.
I know that. I know these players and the clubs want their money too. So you might have to bring them here for 2 games. How's that? Or 4 games, if anything.
Bring them for a season. Let's swap.
Well, why not? You know, the packed houses everywhere. You know, why don't we get a Premier League team in the A League? A Leagues? Why not? Why don't we do that? You know?
I think the selling point, Harry, would be that we don't have a history of the tabloid press.
Yes.
So the stars of M-City or United could freely walk the streets of Sydney without getting harassed by the tabloid, by the press, and the next day this picture going, but viral because the Sun or the Express, whatever the newspaper. So that is what I think obviously stars like. Del Piero loved living in Double Bay because he was just one of us and no one was harassing him. Where in Italy, he was news every time he left his house.
He's a god.
And here, this is why the obviously stars like coming to Sydney because they just, unless you're a football tragic, you would know that Del Piero lived down the road.
That's right, exactly.
And shopped at Woolies in Double Bay.
That's
right.
He
was just one of us.
So, Stephanie, before we let you go, I know you're busy tonight, of course. Now, let me say you're doing SEN. You're doing the women's what's it called again? I've got to get this new system happening. What's it called again?
It's the A League Women. But I did do it for Fox and ABC, but it's moved on. I write on it for ESPN now.
Okay, ESPN. Okay, Entertainment Sports Network. Okay, that's fine, no problem. You're getting. I know that one. There you go. Now you're getting involved. In a lot of different sports as well, which is amazing. You were involved in basketball. You've done all these different sports. Can you tell us any weird sport that you've done? I've got a new sport for you to do. Actually, I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, do you know what? I got a phone call from someone in India to ask if I would come over and commentate a season of Kabaddi.
Oh, my God.
I had to look it up.
Yes. It's just men
It is almost a national sport of Bangladesh and Sri Lanka.
It's huge. Who knew? Not me.
Stephen, these guys crash into each other to get through. Is that right or something? Jesus.
It's like dodgeball, yeah.
Yeah, we played a version of it called Red Rover when we were at school. It was completely different.
I was actually going to mention something to you. I was going to ring up a guy called Vince McMahon, if you know who he is. WWE. Were you going to do some WWE for us or what? I'm sure. Stone Cold Steve Austin to be really happy. How's that? Anyway. But anyway, well, we've got to do something. We've got to do some kind of sport because we've got so many sports in this country. We're running out of sports. So there you go. Of course, we've got too many sports. You know that yourself. So many sports here. But anyway, Stephanie, thank you for joining us tonight. Carlos, can you hold on?
Absolutely, and thank you, Stephanie, for taking time out
Stephanie,
from your
thank you
busy
very
life.
much. Yeah, thank you very much for making your time tonight for the Footballers Show.
Any time for you guys. I'm sorry I made it so hard with my daughter's birthday.
No, it's no problem.
Son had a good one.
Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us tonight. And keep the ball rolling, as they say. There you go.
100%. And can you let me know when you've put a Premier League team into the A-League?
Well, I will.
Absolutely.
I want to write about it.
I will be fighting for that. Don't worry, you'll see. No worries.
Good stuff. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Bye-bye.
Carlos, Stephanie is a breath of fresh air in sports in this country. What do you think of that? I think she's a breath of fresh air. She's just amazing, an amazing woman. How many years she's been doing sports commentary, and now A-League Women or something it's called now. So there you go.
A-League. Well, obviously, it's an amazing role model for everyone to follow, but it also shows that sometimes you need to be at the right place at the right time.
Yes.
To get your lucky break.
And
football players are exactly the same. You could be the best player. Like take the person, the player who left the Wanderers, Volbati, who's playing in the reserves for Roma, and being on the bench for the first team. You know, probably the Wanderers had 2 or 3 similar players of the same caliber, same position. They made a call. We're going to cut him because we have a similar play, and we think that John might have better chances to succeed. So it's a question of being fortunate enough to be at the right time, at the right place, and getting that break to get the first gig. And then, as Stephanie said, one thing just follow the other, and you just build on, and you become known, and people take notice, and then you start gaining respect.
Exactly, and this is the thing about that. It's as I say, as you said, be at the right place at the right time, and that's how it works. Opportunities knock, and you just take them as you can. That's right. Now, Carlos, what I want to talk to you about is that performance of the Socceroos last week was honestly, I thought we were going to actually win this game the way we were going. I thought we were going to win it. My God, at the back, it was just, I don't know. This is my point of view. At the back, we were just so weak at the back.
Look, I think, I know Graham Arnold will not admit, because he went on the offensive and said there was a lot of positives in this game. The first half was abysmal.
Yes.
We just chose not to turn up. I think the hype and the media that said, we could be the first team to win 12, 13 games in a row undefeated. We already achieved 11. We're history makers here.
Yep.
And so the first half was abysmal.
It was.
I do think that we have Ryan Grant has a mortgage on the right back position, but he was rested because apparently he was fatigued.
Gee.
Fran Karadzic, who played for Brescia in the Serie A.
Yes.
I don't think he did. I think he had a really poor game. And then Behic, our left back, and I think our left back has been an issue for a long time. He had probably the worst game in the green and gold.
I've got that right here, right now, exactly what you're saying. I've got that here right now, as is Behic.
And we tweaked the midfield diamond. Aaron Moore had not played because of the Chinese Super League shut down because of COVID-19. He had not kicked the ball for 159 days.
Oh, my God.
And yet we put him in this pressure cooker of a game, and he was found wanting. His fitness wasn't there. His first touch wasn't there.
Yep.
And then at that level, Harry, you need to take your half chances. Rohic had 2 brilliant chances, and he shot over the bar.
That's right. Saw those.
All right. And then we had Sainsbury, who it is to be blamed 100% for the second goal, because they put this through. We came back second half, to Arnold's credit, he tweaked the pieces in the puzzle.
Yes.
And we started putting better plays and put Japan under pressure. and we played better in the second half. But the left and right fullback were having nightmares. They were just going through us like there was no one there.
Exactly.
And then we equalised. Hayden Roostich, he had a below par game, but he stepped up when he had to. Bang, amazing free kick.
It was an amazing free. I saw that was amazing. And that was supposed to be, then, apparently they called that a penalty at the beginning, and then VAR actually swapped it as a free kick just out the box. That's right.
Yeah, it is. I think it's the VAR is very much criticised time and time again, but I think the VAR at that level has got the decisions right. And he got tripped outside the box, and then his body and the speed took him forward over the penalty box, and penalty, no penalty, free kick, he puts it in.
Yes.
And then we have this through ball, because I'm not sure that Harry Suter and Trent Sainsbury are suited to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Milos Degener, who will normally partner Harry Suter, withdrew because he tested positive for COVID-19.
Yes.
So Trent Sainsbury had to come in, and he partnered Suter. But I don't think they are suited to each other. And obviously, in the through ball that Japan put through, he kind of stops, goes left, goes right, and allows the player enough room to continue running into space. I know what I would do if I couldn't keep up with that player. On the 88th minute, 1-1, I would have tripped or grabbed the shirt and taken a red for the team.
Yes.
Because when he got beaten for pace, it was about 40 metres out.
Yep.
And so I know what I would have done. Call me cynical. But I would have just grabbed the shirt, tripped it, red card. I don't care. Take one like Luis Suarez did against Ghana in 2010 South Africa World Cup.
Professional
he stuck
foul.
the hand out, got sent off, and guess what? The Ghanaian missed the penalty.
That's right.
Uruguay's go through. So, I think the left back remains an issue. The game, Behic, for whatever reason, and let's just say that everyone has a bad day at the office.
Exactly.
But at that level,
he was unbelievable. Oh boy.
At that level, you cannot afford two basic mistakes because you will get punished. And Japan was far more hungry than we were.
They were.
Which brings us to the next question, which is if we have the Matildas playing on Saturday and Tuesday against Brazil, women's, obviously with a new biosecurity bubble that FA, the government, state government, federal government has agreed quarantine. They're arriving in straight to the hotels, getting tested, training from hotel to training to the restaurant. If there's no major repercussions in terms of COVID-19 numbers creeping up with 75% capacity at Bank West, which brings you close to 24,000, then the Socceroos will play Saudi Arabia on 11 November, which is a 6-pointer.
Oh boy.
We cannot afford to lose or drop a point at home.
Well, will we
because the
drop?
Saudis will come in and park the bus, as you would.
Of course they will, and they do know what's at stake here, aren't they? Aren't they third on the table, which means they could anything could happen here. We could end up being third.
Saudis have won. The Saudis are first on 12 points.
Yes,
we are second on 9.
Okay, we've dropped.
Japan. Okay. Yeah, we won 3 straight.
Yes.
Then we tripped up against Japan. The Saudis have won 4 straight.
Gee.
And then we're on 9. Japan is on 6. And Oman is on 6.
I get you.
And then obviously China on 3 and Vietnam with no points.
I believe they won't go anywhere.
It is a traffic jam.
It is a traffic jam.
Because we do have Oman away to Oman. We have China away to China, Vietnam at home, Japan at home, and Saudi Arabia away in Riyadh.
Oh boy, that's going to be very hard, that game, because I can tell you how their supporters are going to be there. They will have a packed house, wouldn't they, in Riyadh? My God. And I know what they're like. Very, very vocal and passionate. And I tell you what, the rubbish they will give the Socceroos, they know all that there. what they're like in Saudi Arabia, and I know that passionate. It's not
Well,
funny.
it's part of the parcel of World Cup football.
It is.
You need to be able to manage and thrive on a hostile environment.
Exactly. So,
and by parking the bus if you have to, minimizing your errors, and then taking your half chances like Rokic.
Yes.
2 beautiful shots, over the bar. But to his credit, he was creating a lot of opportunities for other players. Target was unlucky once again. He had, he had a great chance, hit the post. Who knows? But the bottom line is defending in the past and of late has cost us games.
And this Japanese team wasn't as good as their past Japanese teams, but it was just unbelievable. There was a lot of players there who'd hadn't had many games for Japan, and all of a sudden here the way they're playing. I mean, if Australia had Socceroos had won that game, you know what would have happened, don't you? They would have that coach, the Japanese coach, gone.
Would have been fired, and I think the players recognised that they needed to play for their coach.
That's right.
And they turned up and they performed, and they were hungrier than us. Yes. In the second half, first half, it was abysmal by us. Second half, more even Stevens, but first half, it was horrible, Arnold.
He was. Now, what are we expecting on the 11th? Changes that need to be done. We're talking at the back here. Who do you think is he going to bring Degenacking? Because I tell you what, for God's sakes, I mean, you've got to have better players than this at the moment. I mean, I'm confused in the way that Arnold is playing at the back. Carlos, what do you think of this?
Well, Degenack is a shoo-in because he complements Harry Suter better. I'm not sure that Harry Suter should be there in the first 11. I think his height is there for his height, but when it comes to quicker, nippy players with closer ball skills, I think he struggles with that. He struggled against the in the Olympics with the better, skillful, shorter players who are faster.
Yes,
but he's there for a reason, and he hasn't done too bad. Miller's is a shoo-in. However, we have to rely on the overseas base players because the A-League. But for Ryan Grant, who is a shoo-in, and maybe Chris Economides will come in as a bench player, and McLaren as a bench player because obviously we're in pre-season training.
Yes.
But the left back remains an issue. I'm not sure we have any other left back floating around at the moment that could perhaps be better than Behic. Ryan has. Yeah,
Ryan Harris. He may have to start experimenting with other players playing there. Who knows? That's the other thing.
Well, we might. Okay, the choices are we go to a flat 3.
Yep.
And then tweak that formation, and then go 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, whatever you want to do it.
Yes.
But we can't afford to have such a poor. We can't afford to defend poorly against Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Because they will park the bus.
Oh, they will.
And they will take the chance because they're very good at shooting from long range. And Matt Ryan was the man of the match.
Oh, of course
he had a shaky start, but then he just grew and grew and grew and kept us in the game. It could have been 4-1.
Exactly. I was going to say that. Yep.
So, I think, the European players, hopefully, I think Aramoy is not up to scratch. I think he's a good option as a bench player.
Yes. I
would like to see James Diego given a run, or some of the younger ones given a run in midfield to assist. I'm not sure about Jackson Irvine. I think he's going through a difficult phase at St. Pauli in Germany, not playing regularly.
Yes.
So I would, if the benchmark is if you're playing regularly, you get a better crack at it. I think with James Jago who's playing really well in Greece.
In Greece, yes.
He could certainly do the job that Jackson Irvine does, which was a bit patchy against Japan, but had great games before. Rohic needs to be there because he's the X factor.
Yes.
And it's really difficult to get the ball off him, and he needs to sharpen his skills. Obviously, Target deserves to be there because he has worked really hard to create spaces for others to run. Yes. Mobile is Mobile. He's the X factor.
Yes, he is.
Do we bring someone, unfortunately, who's a guy who was captain of the Socceroos and he played for Melbourne City? Lecky. We need no one like Lecky.
Lecky, that's right. Yes, he could be a possibility here because he's in Melbourne. He's training here, so he could be a possibility.
Yeah,
there you go.
He hasn't played, or someone like Robbie Cruz, but obviously he's not at that level because we're in pre-season training.
That's right, exactly.
Who could cut inside, run in, and be difficult to dispossess, and there goes a penalty,
That's it.
Or a free kick.
That's right.
So Mobile should be there. Targa should be there. Who is on the other side? I like to see a front three of Mitchell, Mobile, and Target.
Yes.
Maybe with two false number 9s with Target and Mitchell working in tandem,
yes.
One behind the other with Mobile just floating around from left to right.
Yes.
But Mitchell Duke is like the Energizer Bunny.
He is.
He comes in and he's just full of energy and he seems to lift the team all the time. So I like to see Mitchell Duke rewarded with a starting place together with Target, not one for the other. I think we could find a way to put the two together, and Mobile roaming around, or Economides if he's fit enough, roaming around, picking up the bits and pieces.
Now the game is on the 11th. Is that at Stadium Australia?
No, Bank West.
Now, where is Bank West? Can we, for everyone in Melbourne, Victoria?
Bank West is the old Parramatta Park Stadium.
Okay.
Remember when the Wanderers commenced playing, we had Parramatta Park.
Yes.
It then became Pertec Park because of the sponsors.
Yes.
And then Parramatta Park was demolished.
Yes.
And a new stadium was built.
Oh, yes.
It's now called the CommBank because the Bank West used to own the rights. Now CommBank, because Commonwealth Bank now has the naming rights, so let's call it Commonwealth Bank. But most people refer as Bank West.
Yes.
But a bit of trivia: Commonwealth Bank owns Bank West.
Oh, I see what you mean. And also, how many does this stadium seat, Carlos?
34,000. Just 34,000.
Are we going to see a crowd there on that day? Have they said something about what size crowd they're going to look at because of the virus?
If everything goes well with the two games the Matildas will play on Saturday and Tuesday against Brazil, at the moment is 75% capacity, everyone double vaccinated. So I expect that if there's no major breaches of the bubble and protocols, and the numbers do not go north, then we have a crowd of 25,000, which is close to 75% capacity at Parramatta or CommBank Stadium, which would be great because we haven't seen the Socceroos for a long time. And the Matildas, 2 years since the last played at home.
And you're going, of course. You must be going.
Oh yeah. I already applied for my press pass.
Yes.
Well, also the application for the FFA Cup games came through today.
Yes. And
I'm looking forward to watching Olympic taking on Sydney FC at Belmore.
That's going to be big.
Sports Ground Belmore. It's going to be huge.
Massive. Carlos, thank you tonight for joining us on Football List. And next week we have a special guest called, well, I could say he's a former South Melbourne champion player, Peter Tsalakis. Have you heard of Peter Tsalakis?
I've heard of Peter Tsalakis. He could hit the ball from distance really well.
He was so short and so stocky, but hit the power in his legs. Oh my God, you know what I mean?
Right. He was built like the great Diego Maradona.
Exactly.
Short, stocky, but he could actually move around the field. You wouldn't think he could.
Yes.
but he was actually a very agile and entertaining player in that era.
Low centre of gravity, like they said about Maradona all the time. That's right. Carlos, thank you next week. We'll see you next week. And hopefully we got Frothy here as well. Where is he? He's a ghost tonight, wherever he is, guys. And if anybody's talking about Frothy, guys, he's sick. He's done his back at work, so we hope to have him next week. And the time changes next week, Carlos. We could be going to 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. next week, where the curfew finishes here on how can I say?
Okay. Look, I'm happy to work with you, Harry, all the time. It's always a pleasure to be part of your show.
No worries, Carlos. We'll talk next week. We'll have you on with Peter Tsalakis. Thank you for joining us, Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Yes. Guys, always a pleasure to have Carlos on. He's from Planet Football to Triple R. They do these shows on Saturday afternoons during the season and everything. But right now, he joins us because nothing is happening in Victoria, nothing is happening in New South Wales. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Mr. NPL. Mr. NPL's coming on right now, guys. So we're going to bring him on so we can actually talk about what's happening with the FFA Cup and North Melbourne. As Frothy says, North Melbourne. So let's go to North Melbourne here right now, guys, and see if we can actually talk about North Melbourne. And the game is actually on, say, in a couple of weeks. So let's just see what happens, you know. So we're going to get Mr. Gavin Fisher on right now. We're going to call him twice because of his phone. So we're going to do this. So we're going to put a bit of music on for you right now. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, boy, that's so loud. Oh, what happened there, guys? A bit more music for you. Here we go. Oh, yes. Peter Tring compensation. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. We're going to have to get a doctor down there and get him with an ambulance or something. But let's get Gavin. Gavin, where are you, mate? We're going to have to wait.
Hi, the person you have called is not...
His sister always answers first, guys. There you go. So we're going to call him again. Mr. Bloody Gavin Fisher, Mr. MPL, we need you right now, sir. Where are you, sir? I hope he answers this one right now.
Hello, Harry. What's happening?
My God, man, you're on. I got you the second time again. Mate, we're going crazy tonight, mate. We're absolutely history tonight. You know how it works?
History.
We're bloody history. We've lost our minds. Hello there. We've got another guest on. Who's this?
Say hello, Emily. Say hello.
Emily.
Say hello. Say hello, Harry. Say hello, Harry. Hello, everybody watching.
How are you, Emily? Are you enjoying the show?
Yes.
Maybe not.
What? What am I going to do about this now? Oh boy, she's laughing as well. Now, Gavin, we've got a dilemma tonight, mate. Frothy's sick.
What's that?
He's
sick.
I know. He's done his back.
Mate. We missed him, mate. This show's not the same about him, Harry.
No, well, we got to do what we got to do and do what we have to do. What do you do? What do they say? Mate. The show must go on. Is that right? But I tell you what, mate.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, Frothy, exactly. I suppose, but mate, it's not the same about him, mate. Carlos, mate. He like Bruffy says, mate, that voice, mate, he just puts you to sleep.
Well, we have to talk. Carlos, sometimes you got to talk technical, and he talks very technical.
Harry, that's spot on, mate. When you're dealing with a lawyer, they're very technical, mate. That's you're spot on there, mate. So
exactly. Now,
couldn't agree more.
Gavin,
it was missing Proffies tonight, mate. Not the same.
Oh, we are missing him. Of course, we are. A lot of people are talking.
No John says. Well, John says in the comments.
Well, where's he gone? He's disappeared, mate.
No Stephen Holiday. Must be away on holiday somewhere.
I don't know where he is, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, Gavin, next week everything changes, and you know it yourself. So we next week could be going to 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. The curfew's finished. Finally.
Good, mate. I'll be able to actually do this instead of having my daughter hassling me all the time, mate.
So we're gonna go back to we're gonna go probably. I reckon we'd be going.
That's his job to look after me.
Who's this? I think Uncle Frothy can do that. Is that right?
Uncle Frothy.
Uncle Frothy will do that. Uncle Frothy. Oh, it's a beauty, that one. Uncle Frothy will look after you. Don't worry about that.
Emily said, because I said about, I can go back to doing this in peace and not being bothered by my daughter. And Emily said,
yeah, Gavin.
It's your job to look after me, Daddy. So, anyway.
Uncle Frothy will help too, don't worry. But the thing is, Gavin, now, we're talking about now the FFA Cup's on. It's happening. It's done.
It's happening, mate. Yeah, it's happening. We've got dates and everything, mate. It's all happening.
Do you know the date, Gavin? Because people are listening right now.
Yes, I do. Hang on. I'm just going to load it up now for you.
Yes.
Give you all the information, mate. All the Victorian clubs are in training.
Fantastic.
Game's definitely going ahead. Definitely for the first game, Hume City versus Port Melbourne at ABD Stadium in Broadmeadows. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 10th of November.
So this is FFA Cup, eh?
FFA Cup round of 32, first round.
Yes.
Our game, South versus North, mate. North, Harry. North. Don't forget the North, mate.
They're booing, mate. The crowd's booing in you. They're all booing, mate.
North, mate. The mighty North, mate. The mighty gang.
North Melbourne. They're going to wear the North Melbourne jumpers or what? Are they?
Versus some mob called Melbourne City, mate. I don't know who they are.
We're talking about
Lakeside Stadium.
Dubai United. Dubai United. Okay.
Dubai, exactly, mate. The war criminals, mate.
Dubai United or
Allegedly, mate. The war criminals.
No talk nothing about that at the moment. That's anyway.
Yeah. Well, that game is on Friday, 12th of November at Lakeside Stadium, 7:30. It's going to be live on 10 Play, so which is great.
Now let me tell you about that game. Have they decided to say a limited amount of people? We don't know yet. Is that right? What are they talking about?
Still haven't said what the conditions are going to be around entry and about who can go, who cannot go, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like how many people, anything like that. All they've put out is a date, time, and venue. That's it.
So someone's got to actually turn up with bolt cutters. Is that right or what?
Well, I don't know. Worst case scenario, if we can't go and it's behind closed doors, it's going to be live on TV.
That's ridiculous.
So, people will be able to watch it. You know what I mean?
South Wales, they're opened up for the Socceroos and the Matildas, but they can't open up for the FFA Cup. How stupid is this if that doesn't happen, eh?
Yeah, well, it's to be disappointing, but at least the game's going from my view, at least the game's going ahead, mate, because we get to finish off our season with a game. A lot of other clubs, the other, 4 clubs, the other, 10 clubs in the NPL, mate, they're finished. Their season's done and dusted. They won't play another game for 2021. At least we will get to play a game against a top quality opposition to finish off 2021 and all the hard work the players have put in over the last 10, 11 months. They get to actually finish it off with an actual game. You know what I mean? And we can look forward to 2022, no matter what happens. So
they said about January starting the NPL, January.
Yeah, which is good, mate, which is great. Yeah, which I don't have a problem with at all. So, no, it's good. But looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be great. Going to watch the game. I'm going to get me 10 Play app connected to the Optus Sport box.
Oh, okay. Is that what people have to do now? Now, I've got the Telstra box, right? Is it part of Paramount Plus? Is that right? Paramount Plus?
You can pay the Paramount Plus. I think it's $11 a month.
Jesus.
And you get A-League and FFA Cup games all live every game. Or you can go on the 10 Play, download the 10 Play app.
Yes.
And there's certain games from the FFA Cup on the 10 Play app. Plus, I think there's going to be one game a week from the A-League on 10 Play app. Yep. Plus on free-to-air Channel 10 too.
Okay, so are you thinking that this is going to be a better system than Foxtel's? I don't know. Because I think
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I'm gonna probably get Paramount Plus. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe next year. Maybe next FFA Cup for 2022. I'll get it. You know what I mean? This year, it's all over the place because of COVID and stuff and border lockdowns, and the tournament hasn't gone the way it normally would. You know what I mean?
It has in Queensland and South Australia and WA.
Yes, exactly. Not here, not in New South Wales, here, Canberra.
I know that. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't get it this year. But next year I probably will get the Paramount Plus. Then you get the Socceroos, you get FFA Cup, and you get the A-League too, every game.
Yep.
So see what happens. But, I'm definitely going to download his 10 Play app so I can watch Hume and Port Melbourne on Wednesday, the 10th of November.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, Hume and Port Melbourne, they're playing up the road from me here. So, I mean, the thing is, why can't we all go and watch a game down there? Why can't we do
Harry, you might be able to, mate.
Why can't we do a live show in the car park and some kind of crowd there? I think we could do something, I reckon. I reckon we get a lot of people down there. We've got a lot of supporters on this side of the city and the show. So if we can get people in the car park there and do a little live show for a couple of minutes, how's that?
That'd be interesting.
Interesting to do that.
It just depends on what happens with the crowds and stuff. You know what I mean?
I know.
By then, we'll be 80% double vaccinated because I think that's coming in November. They're saying early November for the Melbourne Cup and shit. So that's like a week and a half after the Melbourne Cup, nearly 2 weeks. So, we might be right. Might be able to get a decent crowd. Who knows, mate? The government's keeps swapping and changing all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows, mate? You know what I mean?
If you're the dictator, that means something could happen again. Who knows? That's the thing.
Captain Curfew, mate. The curfew man, mate. Captain.
So next week we go back to a normal time. We could be going back to show. They go back to 9 p.m.
Oh, it's so much better, mate.
Well, if we can get, I think we're going to go. And Frothy says we're talking about 8 p.m. going to 8 p.m. for the summer for the daylight saving. So 8 p.m. I think 8 p.m. to 8. I think 8:30 or 8 p.m. we'll be going to daylight saving a daylight saving show, which will be a lot better. I think that's what it looks like. So. Gavin,
yeah, it's good. No, it's great, Frothy. I mean, Harry, that's great, mate.
That's what I mentioned. We need to start a little bit earlier because of daylight saving. I mean, we're starting here right now at 7 p.m. and it's all daylight outside. My God.
And people having dinner and stuff.
Exactly,
and
exactly. So
I just finished my dinner, like literally right on 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's just like it's a bit of a hassle. But that's okay.
Yeah.
But I heard you talking to Stephanie Brantz and stuff, and heard you talking about the Socceroos and stuff.
Yes.
Like, I thought we deserved more from the game. Really,
we did.
I thought, our effort and commitment was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
it was.
I thought a draw would have been a fair result.
Well, he should have parked the bus. Why were they trying to go forward again? This is the other thing.
Both sides created some good chances.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the second goal was just luck. It was a deflection.
It was.
Comes up over Matty Ryan.
Terrible.
As each beach, but he falls over his own feet at the goal line.
Unbelievable.
It hits him and it goes in. You know what I mean? Like,
that's ridiculous. I know that.
I thought we were a little unlucky, but we're still in good shape, mate.
We are.
As in, buddy, Carlos said, in the table, we're on 9 points. We're 3 clear of Oman, you know what I mean?
That's right.
3 clear of Japan. 6 clear of China, and Vietnam haven't picked up a point yet.
And we don't want to end up third because you know what happens third, don't you?
Yeah, going to playoff. That's right.
Geez,
that's right, Harry, I know.
We don't want to do that. So that's the thing with
bloody
Benedict
Arnold. We've played all
Arnold.
these games away from home. Now we're going to be back at home. That's going to make a massive difference. I reckon.
It will make to win all those games away that we did. That's a massive plus for this now to play at home, and that should work out a bit more now. Hopefully, that's right. So
correct. Like Carlos, we've got this big, huge game going up against Saudi Arabia.
Of course.
Even a draw would be a good result. You know what I mean?
It would be a good result, yeah. You
know what I mean?
That's right.
Because they were a good side. They beat us home and away in the last qualifying for 2018. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and we got a weaker. I think we've got a weaker squad than we had 4 years ago.
And we do have a weaker squad.
Replaced players that we've had from 4 years ago. Really.
That's right.
So we've got to have people. I think some people have got really high expectations. And we've completely done unbelievably well. But I just think, we had one loss and everyone's like, oh, mate,
I know.
That was a shocking performance, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's on our back.
The end of the world again, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. We're under the pump. We're under pressure. We don't win this game against Saudi Arabia.
Hang on. That bastard's back again. Get out of here. Frothy's not here. Get out of here, you mug. You know I'm talking about. Bloody Horace, that bastard here again tonight, mate. Jesus. He's looking for him. He's flying around looking for him. I don't know. Bloody hell, mate.
But no, I don't think it was that bad. I thought, we played pretty well, I thought, and I thought we deserved something out of the game. But that's just my opinion anyway. Disagree with me, but I thought it wasn't that bad.
There'll be more players available for the game. The A-League based players and the players who've come back. We're talking about, they're all back here. So there's a lot more to pick from here. So let's just see what happens.
We're missing Lecky.
Of course.
We're missing bloody Jamie McLaren.
Exactly. Massive.
Curtis Good.
Massive.
You know what I mean?
Massive names.
There's 3 blokes who'd be in the squad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly,
so,
Gavin.
Who are A-League based players? You know what I mean? So, I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be fine. Let's not panic. Let's not panic.
No. But
we'll be right, mate.
Although you know what happens with Arnold, as soon as he fails, we call him Benedict Arnold's done it again.
That's right, Harry. Unlike Ange, mate. Ange is going well, Harry. Back-to-back wins now, mate. Celtic's going well.
I told you a few months ago before he started what sort of crowd is going to be on his back. Didn't I tell you guys about that? That one little mistake, one little loss or something like that. It's the end of the world there too. But when they say it's the end of the world there, it is the end of the world in
right,
Europe.
Mate.
You know that, don't you?
Celtics don't lose games, mate. They don't take kindly to losing. It's all about winning, and not just about winning, playing with a certain style to win games. Mate, attacking, free-flowing football, the Celtic way, mate.
You know. Next week I'm going to talk to you about next week's guest here. You're going to love this bloke, Peter Tsalakis.
Yeah, Peter's a nice guy.
He's coming on next week. He's coming on next week.
A few times. It was disappointing when he got sacked at South at the time. You know what I mean? I was pretty shocked and disappointed at the time when he got the sack. But then we got Chris Taylor in, and then history was, history was pretty much created after that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Peter Slack, I think he's a great manager. I think he's done really well. You know what I mean? Wherever he's been, look at a good job he done at Oakley.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Took Oakley grand final.
He did.
Got Northcote promoted. He's a good manager, and he's a good player too.
Gavin, we're going to talk about his time at South Melbourne as a player, because that was massive, and you know how big that was. Gee.
Yeah, exactly. And Heidelberg as well. I think he played more games for Heidelberg than he did us.
And
but
he did, exactly.
But no, he's a good bloke. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. When he was in charge at South, he always had time for the fans, always talked to us, always explain things and just treat you with respect and gave you the time to have a chat to you about what was going on. You know what I mean? Many times I'd stop and talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't know who I was. If you said to him, do you know Gavin Fisher? He wouldn't know me at all. But if he seen my face, he would know exactly who I am. You understand what I'm trying to say? But he's a top bloke.
Now, the week after that, we got another big surprise, mate. And honestly, he laughed at me when I spoke to him. I said, yes, Mr. Waratifi, this is Harry from Football S, the craziest football show in the land. And he started laughing his head off. I said, mate, we'd love you on our show. You know, we're on the 1st of November. If we can get you on there, I'd love to be on the show. No problem. So we've advertised him
Francis,
as well.
Mate.
Yeah, Francis. And we, you know, he was the James Bond of the game at that time. He was the cool James Bond, wasn't he? Is that right? You know what I mean?
Francis, top man, mate. He's a good top player. Done well for Australian football, mate. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good guy too. You know, all around good guy. You know what I mean? Like, when he was on SBS and stuff, you got to know him much better, much more, his personality, compared to when he was a player at South and Melbourne Knights or Melbourne Croatia, you know what I mean? Even Marconi. But you know what I mean? But that's what happens in life, you know what I mean? You get to know people much better when they kind of retire or they go into the media and you see the real person instead of just the footballer out on the pitch, if you know what I'm trying to say.
And he's the big boss of the Players Association, so we've got a lot to say to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, he's done a lot for Australian football in his time, mate.
He has.
He's a nice bloke too.
And also the week after, my God, this is a big one. Nobody has ever interviewed this guy, and he never makes time, but he made time for our show. Scott Ollerenshaw, my God.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yep.
He's in Malaysia.
He's a long time, mate.
Yeah, in Malaysia. We want to talk to him. Remember that Gold Cup game? That Gold Cup game that he played in during the time when Frank Arrock won that game against Argentina. Remember that game?
Okay,
boy. Remember that day? Oh, boy.
Mate, it was like 87, 88, something like that.
That's 88, yep, that's
88,
right.
Australian Australia, that tournament over Australia Day or whatever it was.
That's right, yeah. That's right.
I think I scored that cracking goal. Charlie
Yankos, mate.
Yeah, Charlie Yankos scored that cracking goal against Argentina. That was like when I first started following football, Harry. That was like
mate, we're going
first started following football, mate. 88, mate. So
we are going way back. We go way back, mate.
Exactly,
go
mate.
Way back. So
that was when I first started. That was the year I first started playing. You know, 88 was the first year I started playing.
Amazing.
I started following the game, you know what I mean, getting involved, you know what I mean? So I spent my whole life, you know, following footy, obviously, because, you know, Victorian, passionate North Melbourne supporter, you know what I mean? Like, and the other blue and white team in Melbourne, as you know, obviously.
Yes.
It's just like, but no.
We've got a lot of guests coming on the next few weeks, and
that's a good guess, Harry. Obviously, mate.
We've got a lot more names I could put on there, but we haven't spoken to them yet. We've got a lot of phone numbers people have given to us, and we'd like to thank Carlos for giving us all these phone numbers. Carlos has given us a lot of guests, my God, and he's got a lot more guests to give us. Andy Harper is who we want to get on. Andy Harper, if you're out there watching, mate,
he's been on the commentary on Channel 10.
He has too.
World Cup qualifiers with Stephanie's husband, Harry.
No, Stephanie's not with him anymore. So.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's fine. That's no worries. That's fine. But that's the situation. So we've got a lot. I'll tell you what, the guests, the list that Carlos gave me. I mean, we've got a guy there who I can mention to everyone right now is the 1956 goalkeeper for Australia, the Olympic goalkeeper. My God, man. He's the last one. I'm going to call him shortly too. Ron Lord. Ron Lord, I think. Yeah, Ron Lord.
Lord. Where's he from? Was he Victorian or
I don't
Sydney
know.
Or...
That'll be interesting to get him on. He's 92 years of age, so he's the...
Yeah, he would be, mate. He'd be up. Yeah, definitely.
He is the last Socceroo of that era. My God. So we need to get him on as soon as possible.
That's like Andrew Gaze's dad.
Yes, Lindsay.
He played, Lindsay, mate. He played for Australia in the 56 Olympics basketball, mate, tournament.
Exactly.
So,
Anyway, Gavin, thank you for joining us
Good speaking
tonight.
to you, Harry.
And
Good
we'll have
talking to you, mate.
Frothy next week. And
Yeah,
everyone,
look forward to seeing the
and
Frothies
everyone
back, mate.
Yes, and next,
in.
exactly. And next week we go to a different time. We get finally out of this curfew, guys, so we can go to a later time for everyone to see the show a lot better. So thank you, Gavin, for talking to us tonight.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks for ringing me, mate. Take care.
No problem. Talk to you next week.
Talk to you soon, mate. All right. Yes.
No problem.
See you, mate.
Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you, guys. That was Gavin. Always talks about the FFA Cup and Mr. NPL, we call him, when the NPL starts again, hopefully in January, early February, they say, and that's what's going on. So what I'm going to say to you guys, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Without these guys, this show doesn't go on. There is only one football, Arrow Sport, and there is only one football. And Sea City Lawyers, guys, the lawyers that come to you from New South Wales and Sydney as well. Remember, guys, Arrow Sport make great teamwear for your club. If you're looking for stuff for your club, all these outfits that you want to wear on the field, training stuff. And also, don't forget on the side, guys, these outfits are made by There Is Only One Football, guys. They are the 1977, yes, replica shirts of the Phillips League, 1977. Have a look at them on the sides, and they're for sale on that there. And if you're looking for some fantastic services as well from Carlos Bielli. That's right. There is we're talking about Sea City Lawyers, guys. Sea City Lawyers, the lawyers that come to you. Tonight, thank you for joining us. Sorry that Frothy's not here. He's a bit sick, but we'll have him next week with Peter Tsalakis, guys. Thank you for joining us. Here we go. Feel it. Hup. See you next week, guys. The chimes will change next week. They'll be advertised as well. Thank you. Hup. Feel it. Hup. Check it out right now. Hup. Hey. Feel it, man. Hup. Clap your hands, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Thank you to Stephanie Brantz, Carlos Bielli, and Mr. NPL Gav. Thank you, guys. Hup. Check it out right now. Hup, hup, hup. Feel it. Hup. Check it out, man. Hup. Hup. Feel it right now, man. Hup, hup. The cup of life. This is the one. Now is it time? Don't ever stop. We should have known, gotta be strong. We should have known right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it. I see it in your eyes, you want the cup of life. Now today's here, you're gonna get it. Do you really want it? Oh, they're gonna get it. Do you really want it? Hey! Here we go. Ali, Ali, Ali. Good, good, go. Good night, guys. Thank you for joining us. See us next week. We are out of jail in Melbourne next week in Victoria. Our time will change back to normal just about. Good night, everyone. Footballers, see you next week at night. Somewhere about 9 p.m. next Monday. Thank you. Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called There Is Only One Football.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There's only one football.